History is written by the victors. This means that the facts we take for granted are merely one version, rewritten thousands of times. We invite you to look at it differently. At the core of our series lies a hypothesis grounded in the laws of the theory of history, one that resolves thousands of contradictions found in conventional scholarship. We will trace the journey from the family of Noah to our own time, exploring the central history of the chosen nation and the three peripheral streams, south, west, and east. History does not forgive mistakes. It erases empires that move against its current. To influence the future, one must understand the direction of that current. This is not merely an alternative view of the past, it is the key to the present and the future. Part 1. Why the history of Noah's family is the key to everything. History is written by the victors, and we have grown accustomed to a single version of the past. But there is another perspective, a view through the laws of history, which operate regardless of whether we believe in them or not. Today, we begin our discussion about the family of Noah, about one event that divided the destinies of all nations for thousands of years to come. This is not merely an ancient legend. This is the key, without which it is impossible to understand why civilizations took different paths and where we are heading right now. After the first family, Adam and Eve, failed to fulfill their mission, history did not stop. The divine purpose remained unchanged. 1,600 years passed. The world had plunged into chaos, violence, and depravity. And then God chose Noah. He placed this family in the position of Adam's family to give humanity a fresh start. Notice, this is not punishment, but a second chance. The laws of history offer an opportunity, but they demand the fulfillment of conditions. Noah built this ark for 120 years. Imagine, 120 years of mockery, doubt, and loneliness. Yet he remained absolutely obedient. The ark was built with 3 levels, a symbol of the 3 stages of the development of the universe. 8 people inside represent those who were to be restored from under Satan's dominion. The ark becomes a model of a new world. When it was ready, God judged the old world with a 40-day flood. The number 40 is no coincidence. From this moment on, 40 days, 40 years, 400 years would repeat throughout history as periods of purification and trial. Why do we examine this story in such detail? Because it reveals a law that always works. If a person or a nation fulfills their share of responsibility, they enter the current of history that leads to flourishing. If they violate it, they are swept away, no matter how great they may be. This applies to individuals and entire empires alike. The family of Noah is a model, and what happened next determined the fate of all 3 branches of humanity. Part 2. Curse and Blessing. The birth of 3 branches. So, the flood was over. Noah's family steps onto the renewed earth. Noah plants a vineyard, tastes the wine, and falls asleep naked in his tent. His son Ham enters, sees his father's nakedness, and instead of turning away with respect, he goes and tells his brothers. Shem and Japheth act differently. They walk backward into the tent and cover their father with a garment, without looking at him. At first glance, an everyday scene. But it is precisely here that the fate of all humanity is decided. To understand Ham's sin, we must recall what shame is. Before the fall, Adam and Eve were naked and felt no shame. Their hearts were pure. Shame appeared only after they had entered into a relationship with Satan. After the flood, Noah occupied the position of Adam before the fall. If Noah's sons had looked upon his nakedness without shame, they would have restored the state of innocence. But Ham did not do this. He created a condition through which Satan could enter this family. This is what we call Ham-like behavior, disrespect toward one's father, and therefore disrespect toward the order established by God. Upon waking, Noah speaks words that would determine the paths of nations for thousands of years to come. Here is what is written in the Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 9. Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brothers. End of quote. And then the quote, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. End of quote. Notice, the curse does not fall on Ham himself, but on his son Canaan. This is an important detail. It is Canaan who becomes the one who will lose his inheritance. Shem and Japheth, however, receive a blessing, but different ones. Shem, spiritual primacy, Japheth, territorial expansion. From this moment on, the 3 lines of human development diverge forever. The first branch, Ham, his descendants go south. This is the foundation of Egyptian civilization and the peoples of Africa. The second branch, Shem, the blessed line that preserves the faith. It is in his lineage that all world religions appear, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The third branch, Japheth, who is given the blessing to spread. His descendants go west and east, becoming the foundation of Europe and, as we will see later, Great Tartaria. 3 branches, 3 destinies, and all of them began in a single tent. But history would not be so fascinating if the lines never intersected. The prophecy states that Japheth will dwell in the tents of Shem. What does this mean? It means that the greatness of Western civilization, Europe, and later America, was not born on its own. It emerged through the union of 2 lineages, the expansion and activity of Japheth, and the spiritual faith of Shem. When they came together, Western Christian civilization was born. It was this mixture that for a time became the center of history. But, as we remember, the laws of history work harshly. If you violate them, even this powerful union can be swept away. Part 3. The dove, the raven, and the parallels of history. Now let us look deeper. In the Bible, it is said that Noah sent out birds to check whether the waters had receded. But behind this lies more than just ordinary actions. The raven, which flew back and forth and did not return, is a symbol of Satan, seeking something to cling to in the new world. And the dove, sent out 3 times, is a prophecy about all of subsequent history. And here we come to the most important part. The first dove returned to the ark. It found no resting place. This is a symbol of the first Adam. God created him to fulfill the ideal, but because of the fall, Adam could not remain on earth as a completed creation. The second dove returned with an olive leaf. There is hope, but the waters have not yet receded. This is a symbol of Jesus, the second Adam. He came to complete the work, but the people did not receive him, and he was forced to return to heaven, promising to come again. And finally, the third dove did not return. The waters had fully receded. This is a symbol of the Lord of the second coming, the third Adam. He will finally complete what the first two could not. This story reveals a remarkable pattern. The laws of history are cyclical. We see recurring periods, 40 days, 40 years, 400 years. Each time God gives humanity a chance, and each time humanity bears responsibility. The family of Noah was chosen, but they made a mistake, and so God turned to Abraham. The same happens at every stage. History does not forgive your responsibility, even if you are a chosen family. And it elevates those who, despite the mistakes of previous generations, fulfill the conditions. So, what have we learned from the history of Noah's family? First, the division into 3 branches, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, explains why civilizations develop differently. Africa, the Middle East and religions, Europe and Tartaria. Second, we have seen how curse and blessing are passed down through generations and continue to operate to this day. But most importantly, we have understood that the laws of history are inexorable. If you go with the flow, you prosper. If you try to turn back or violate them, history sweeps you away. Just like the great empires of the past, in the next episodes, we will trace how these 3 branches led to the world we know today, and what lies ahead for us. Remember, the past is the key to the future. So, we have seen how one incident in Noah's tent divided humanity into 3 branches. But what happened next? How did Ham's curse lead to the greatness of Egypt and the fate of African peoples? How did Shem's blessing preserve the faith and give rise to all world religions? And where did Japheth's blessing lead, from nomadic tribes to Great Tartaria, and then to modern Europe and America? In the upcoming episodes, we will trace how these 3 paths diverged, intersected, and ultimately led to the world we know today. We will see how the laws of history operated over millennia, elevating some civilizations and wiping others off the face of the earth. And most importantly, we will understand where we stand right now, and where history is moving at this very moment. Stay tuned. To be continued.